Well, welcome everybody. If you're just tuning in here at Istanbul, it's the FIBA World Championship for women. It's the semifinal between the defending champions, United States and Australia. It's a heavyweight battle. The winner advances to the final to face Spain. Spain beating host Turkey in the first semifinal tonight. Now, the Opals, winners of this great tournament 8 years ago in Brazil, and that right there was the MVP. And she passes outside to Tolo, and Mariana Tolo misses the jumper. Quickly, the USA into transition, and inside it goes, and already Brittany Griner facing a little bit of resistance that she didn't face last night from the Opals.
Never got a balance, did you? To really sort of toppling over there.
Maya Moore, perhaps the United States' steadiest player, goes out and hits a jump shot just like she did last night at the start of the game.
Now the play just now, they brought Griner away from the bucket with a pick and roll for Tolo's jump shot.
Aaron Phillips into Tolo, and she goes right at Griner and draws the foul. And that, I think, says more about Tolo than it does about Griner. I don't think people appreciate how big and aggressive Tolo is. And that is clearly the instruction from Brendan Joyce to Tolo. You need to stand up and be counted tonight.
Yeah, and there's no discipline showed there from Griner. And the way they've come through this tournament, why should they show any discipline right now? They've dominated everybody. Griner thinks she can block every shot.
Well, positive start really after that missed jumper for Tolo, and it'll be interesting watching Brendan Joyce. And Taurasi drives in against Rachel Jerry and hits a tough shot. She gets the contact.
Look for the referee too. There was like it could have been. She's still looking to look at the referee.
Now Penny Taylor pulls up and hits the jumper. Taylor, Brittany Griner, Dinah Taurasi, all with the Phoenix Mercury.
Interesting there, they're picking on Brittany Griner's defense. I'm sure she plays tough defense, just making her play in different places on the floor.
Now Griner away from the basket, which is probably where she has to be for the Australians to be successful anyway. And Griner travels, and Tolo's confidence, no doubt, being boosted by the early going here. And Gino Oriema watching developments.
Brittany Griner just throws this referee, the ball down to the referee with a bit of attitude. She has to settle down a bit mentally. It's a World Championship semi-final. You've got to make sure you've got your emotions in check.
Aaron Phillips has really raised her game lately. Penny Taylor drives in and was sandwiched in, threw it up off the back, underside of the backboard. Maya Moore
trying to draw some contact out of Griner there.
Tina Charles off the front of the rim. Aaron Phillips, confident start for the Opals. Aaron Phillips guarded by Bird and is fouled, I think, before the shot. And the USA, they've had some interesting games. Last night wasn't one of them, but you can see Aaron Phillips with the experience of playing in the WNBA. She respects the USA, but she's not going to show them too much respect, if that makes sense.
Well, Phillips is saying she was shooting. That replay, she was shooting. I'm surprised they're having an end-line ball here.
They're going to inbound. They're going to start it over here.
Well, they've shown them the inbound play. Oh, it's an offensive foul from Charles.
Or no, it was a foul on Charles, trying to prevent the Opals. Who was it?
Penny Taylor got just completely laid waste there. Jeff, straight away, Australia have won the first couple of minutes in terms of a mental battle.
Well, Taylor back outside of Tolo. And Tolo,
she's got to make that jump shot.
Now Maya Moore crosses midcourt. Jerry trying to guard Taurasi. Griner back outside to Maya Moore. Good, and Maya Moore hits the three-pointer.
Tough shooting from Maya Moore. 5 for the game to start off with, the 3 and the 2. You're waking everybody up down there, Jeff.
Everybody's sleeping. What's the problem? I think everybody's asleep after Turkey have lost that last game here.
There is a lull in the arena, that's for sure, because every Every point was greeted with a big cheer in the Turkey game. Well, every point for Turkey anyway.
Tolo now, Jerry goes in, and Brittany Griner says, no, not in my house.
Yeah, she's got long arms, and therefore if you want to create contact, you almost have to run into Brittany Griner. Jerry tries to go the no contact route and gets cheap seated.
Hodges, though, hits the baseline jumper. The veteran, Laura Hodges. Well, don't you know Dinah Taurasi loves games like this. She gets it to Tina Charles. She goes at Tolo, and just Tolo denied.
Jeff, wonderful.
And now Tina Charles has been
Taurasi, I think.
Or is it Taurasi?
Yeah,
whistled for a technical.
Yeah, she's just having a little chirp at the referees on the way back. When she got bumped on the layup, she had 3 good looks at the referee, a look of disdain. And now she's just chirped something to the referee on the way back on defense because she thought Charles got a hit. But wonderful defensive rotation on that pick and roll just now. As Mariana Tolo came flying over.
So Aaron Phillips punishes the USA, and Taurasi picks up the technical, which is also personal. And Brendan Joyce is barking orders as the Opals coach. Listen, this guy has done a terrific job with Australia, losing Lauren Jackson, losing Liz Cambridge, and getting him here to the semifinals. And they've been impressive along the way, coming out of Group C, winning that, and really just dominating yesterday. Now, Taylor misses. Now, Taurasi brings it up to Jerry, gets in the lane, and she's fouled. Call made out on the perimeter by the Chinese referee.
Well, Taurasi will keep battling away until she gets the calls, and that was a good move. For a minute, I thought there was going to be a no call on that one. A lot of hands up here, Jeff. See, there is a foul.
Not sure where it was.
Maybe down low. Maybe it was a trip.
Yeah, she may have been tripped by Hodges. Dinah Taurasi has played for Fenerbahce. She's played for Galatasaray in Istanbul. She's comfortable in these surroundings. Most recently playing in Europe with UMMC Katerinburg. And she puts the USA back in front, 9-8. Tolo comes up to set the pick. Aaron Phillips for 3. And Dupree grabs the board.
That's unfortunate. Australia have got to make these open jump shots.
Dupree, another WNBA champ. Now Bird, entry pass, denied. Well, USA finding the defending a little bit harder tonight to go up against. Taylor gets in the lane, puts up a tough shot, gets the ball back, and is denied now. Maya Moore. Quick pass to Bird, inside to Dupree. Dupree is going to go straight at Hodges. And Dupree draws the foul. It's the second foul on Hodges.
Yeah, it's not a smart move from Hodges. He's just leaning over, and Dupree sees that hand just looping over, just draws contact. You got to get your hands out of the cookie jar.
Well, Dupree, cool, calm, and collected. They don't come much calmer than Dupree, at least from the demeanor on the outside.
I think she's moved to Turkey as well, hasn't she? She had many years in Slovakia at the Good Angels.
Well, missed both free throws. Candice Dupree. Natalie Burton has come in. And a foul on Maya Moore. She doesn't like it. Here's another look at that. Just good aggressive defending.
Just taking a few liberties there.
Taylor at the free throw line. So another opportunity. And, you know, the advantage with Australia is that with the likes of Taylor and Phillips in the WNBA and also Tolo at Bourges, they are well aware of these USA players.
Yeah, and Taylor and Phillips will have obviously the first-hand experience of playing against them. Just got Dupree's numbers up. She's off to China next year to play. and was with Dynamo Kursk last year. I knew somebody was playing in Kursk.
Also, Belinda Snell, who's not in the game at the moment, has WNBA experience.
Yep.
Rebound by Penny Taylor.
First time we've seen Brittany Griner in that low post. She shows in that pick and roll and smothered Phillips out of the way.
Boy, Tolo is really battling down low for Australia. Taylor pulls up at the line. And good, strong rebound from Brittany Griner. Finds Maya Moore.
Jeff, I think that might be the 5th shot for Taylor. She knows full well she's got to get through a payload of shots, that's for sure.
Taurasi quickly to Dupree. And Dupree misses, but Maya Moore with the follow.
What a follow.
That's your MVP for the USA in this tournament right there, number 7.
Absolutely, she is dynamite. You know, there was all the talk for Tolo goes up. Nice
Tolo,
play.
strong move, and a foul called on Brittany Griner. And having seen already one technical called on Taurasi, you know, Griner needs to be careful.
She wasn't short there of letting the referee know what she thought. Let's have a look, so we get a closer look.
So Griner now with 2 fouls. Penny Taylor comes out, and this is a key moment here for Australia with Taylor exiting the game and sitting down to catch her breath. This is about where she's come out in all of the games, about the 6-minute mark. And Snell, perhaps not as strong defensively, but a good shooter.
Yeah, they like Snell's offensive output, and if she get hot, they'll leave her out there. A bit like the Shona Thorburn of Canada, you know, that as long as she's out there running the show, they'll keep going with it.
Taurasi, great defense from Tolo. Up ahead to Aaron Phillips, and Phillips is going to take it all the way and put it up and in.
Spectacular move, Aaron Phillips. Diana Taurasi comes flying through on the Matador defense.
Now to Griner. If she catches it on the low block, normally she's tough. Very smart move from Griner.
That's outstanding, isn't it? They have the ability to put the ball and reach back and find the open Candy Dupree.
She really has been impressive in this tournament. And Lindsay Whalen's going to come in for the USA, and that's maybe not a good thing for Australia. She's been tough as well in this tournament.
Yeah, she was outstanding yesterday, wasn't she? Just controlled the show.
Tolo passes up the jumper and goes in against Griner, and boy, Mariana Tolo is raising eyebrows.
That was an unbelievable move. You could see Griner perhaps picking up foul number 3 as well. She challenged the shot.
Bird puts up a jumper off the front of the rim, and Jerry with the rebound passes over Moore into the hands of Phillips. And now into Burton. And Burton goes up and draws the foul from Sue Bird.
Well, Burton just ran the lane hard, and then she found that Bird was the one guarding her, just stayed in the lane. There's the foul right there, reach from Sue Bird. Oh,
and Mitchell comes in for Phillips. Boy, as good as Tolo's been, maybe Phillips has been the most important player.
Well, and that's important, Jeff, because those two guards, Taylor and Phillips, they've got that experience. They played against this level before. They're not fazed by it, and that's your guards, and they control everything.
This is where, though, you know, with the USA has a distinct advantage over every other team. There's no drop-off when the bench players come in, and in some cases, there's an upgrade.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And, you know, Mitchell, who's come in for the USA, or excuse me, for Australia, gives away a little bit of size. Actually, she's got WNBA experience as well. And Burton misses both.
She's a good-looking athlete, Burton. She's a long, leggy, rangy run.
Lindsay Whalen will look to push the ball up as much as possible, and that person right there, Simone Augustus, is automatic. That's her nickname.
She's a very smooth Simone Augustus. Just a joy to watch.
I would have said that she's a contender for all tournament team. And now Snell. And it goes to Tolo, and Tolo misses a shot that really she should have made. Taurasi drives in, has the ball knocked away, and a foul called on the Opals.
Well, Diana Taurasi Jeff, for a long, long time was the bread and butter of American USA basketball. And she's still got it. There's Simone Augustus, turn and shoot. She's the, I think, one of the best playground players out there. One-on-one, you got it. She's got every move. Maybe it doesn't have the three-point range that Taurasi has. Simone Augustus, she's really 18 feet and under.
And the ball goes off of Augustus's hands and out of bounds. I mean, listen, you're splitting hairs when you talk about these two, but I've seen the USA playing all these games, and before the tournament, I would have said Taurasi is maybe the most important pick player ever for the USA, but Augustus takes a backseat to nobody in this tournament for me.
Absolutely.
And Maya Moore. Taylor puts it up over the rim. Australia now missing some shots, and the USA looking to strike. Taurasi rather, into the lane.
And that's just basic, put your head down, dive in there, and draw contact. And Taurasi knows that every foul against the Australian team is bonus points for the USA. I mean, she's got nowhere to go out of here. Just bisects everybody. The defense will say they held still.
Whalen over on the left, and strong rebound from Taylor. And that's what it took with Dupree getting ready to take it. Snell for three, puts it over the rim, an air ball. And it goes to Snell. She pulls back, misses again, and now Whalen.
Well, Belinda Snell made that big shot in the Olympics, I think, from her own on her own foul line, wasn't it, Jeff?
Yeah,
Did you see that game?
3/4 of the length court. I think it was against Brazil, wasn't it?
Yep.
Dupree in the lane, and the USA now back in front. So a little bit of a dry spell.
Yeah, I think he needs to get Erin Phillips back in. I mean, forget the rest, but a minute to go, he'll probably just sit on this one. Need to take their time here. Be patient.
A tough play. Great recovery there from Tina Charles.
You know, if Tola had caught that first hand, I think she would have scored on Charles, but the fact she had to go back for it.
Bounce pass from Augustus into Charles, and a foul called on Australia. 2 shots.
And again, Jeff, it's just the Americans barreling their way in, causing contact.
And the foul called on Taylor.
Well, Taylor has a big old swipe at the ball. There's the block shot down the other end from Charles. No contact. Snell gets limited look, Jeff.
Rebecca Allen comes in for Snell. And you can't emphasize enough the bench play for the USA versus the bench play of Australia. This could be where the game is won and lost. Both free throws good, and the USA now in front by 3. Final 35 seconds here of the opening half. Mitchell dribbles between her legs, puts up a 3, and that was the shot that fell in their last game. Now Whalen. Over to Dupree. Gets in and puts it up and misses. Burton crashed the boards, and the ball was about to go out of bounds, and it hit Dupree, who was out of bounds.
Well, she's just complained she got hit, but my word, you know, she was right there. Should have finished the play. I think she's more frustrated with herself than anything else.
And right at the end,
what a throw.
That was an impressive attempt there from Mitchell. But the USA get the better of Australia at the end of the opening quarter and take a 19-16 lead. The FIBA World Championship for women, semifinal between the United States and Australia. Second quarter action now underway. USA leading by 3. Lindsay Whalen gets it to Maya Moore right at the top of the key. Looks like the USA has just speeded up their play just a little bit.
Taylor's got a foul here, Jeff.
And a foul out on the perimeter, scrapping for a rebound.
Second for her. It's not too bad, but
yeah, she got her on the right arm there.
You know, in some ways, you say to players, flip the ball upwards, not down. So the hand goes upwards, not down.
Charles goes straight at Tolo, and Tolo is holding her ground.
She's a big presence in there, Mariana Tolo.
And she's played at a high level. She played big minutes in the EuroLeague this year for Bourges in France, and has faced most of these players. Here's Tolo again, and she's not backing down.
Stop it. That is wonderful. That is just outstanding. Feed the bear. Throw it in every night. Every time down the floor, get it to her.
Whalen, Mitchell on Whalen. Whalen looking to find somebody to pass it to. Goes to Charles. Now Taurasi for a long three. And that clanged. And third foul called on Penny Taylor.
Yeah, you can hear what the crowd think of it. And this is probably a good call. I'm not saying it's a bad call. Taylor has probably reached around to block Maya Moore out.
That is a player that they cannot do without.
That's a game changer right there. And just when, you know, USA come up with their worst offense of the game so far, that went nowhere.
Rebecca Allen in the game. And Lindsay Whalen goes around Mitchell. Misses. USA get the rebound, though. Over to Maya Moore. And she misses, and Natalie Burton gets the rebound. So Australia dodged a bullet, and they can take the lead. Offensive foul called on Natalie Burton, trying to push Maya Moore out of the way.
Yeah, there's no reason for this to happen. If you're gonna get contact, just get half up. Look, Maya Moore takes the charge, just gets barreled out the way.
Yeah, it's just not necessary.
No, you're gonna do it. You got to take half the body. Don't take the whole.
So Erin Phillips will come in to settle things down along with Laura Hodges. Augustus goes right at her opponent, and Mitchell. Now Charles is a real beast on the boards, and she has it taken away, throws it. Now Jerry, 2-on-1, and Jerry takes up. Would have been better off passing it.
Had to pass it. Had to pass it.
Oh,
Fouls
foul.
on Whalen. Yep.
Foul's called on Whalen.
Poor old Rachel Jarry just caught in two minds there, but that had to go to Erin Phillips.
I'll tell you what, Rachel Jerry, watch her play. She could have passed that off, but this is a player that really plays hard.
Did you see Taurasi just got out of the way?
Phillips puts it up, and good box out for the Americans. Now Whalen. You know, the women's national team, the only U.S. national team that wears the red. Wow. That's a little bit of trivia for you.
Right.
Yep. And Simone Augustus pushed Mitchell, and that's a good call.
Well, it was a bad pass anyway, so it wasn't going to get through, but
she didn't really need to push her because she's got the size. Watch this.
Tell me about it.
No question. No question.
Well, Leilani Mitchell knew that was coming, braced herself.
But Augustus, again, she is utterly fantastic. She's been terrific at this World Championship. Tolo trying to make the bounce pass now up ahead to Lindsay Whalen, and she goes up to Hodges and scores. And that's just a gift.
I think a lot rests with Lindsay Whalen today. She's got that potential to settle the ship down.
Phillips tries to bank one in, and now Whalen again in the open floor. And she goes in and draws the foul, and possible five consecutive points from Lindsay Whalen.
Exactly what I was saying. They score points in a hurry if you let them get out on the break. You take quick shots. And Erin Phillips knows the error of her ways, offensively and defensively.
Ogumake and McCoftry come in for Taurasi, Augustus, and timeout on the floor. USA leading at 23-18. Lindsay Whalen, I said it before and I'll say it again, she just keeps getting better.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, Jeff. I've seen her on
Hodges picked up the dribble there.
Teams where they ask her to do too much, but on better teams she'd be outstanding. On this team, she's showing a full array of ability to lead a team.
Tessa Levy comes into the game for Australia, number 4. And a pass inside, and Whalen, I think, is whistled for the foul.
Second foul on Whalen. He's just tugging back Hodges there.
Sue Bird will come in for Whalen. So, again, you take one star off the court and another one comes in, and Tolo comes out. Here's the applause, and Kayla Francis comes in for Australia. And Francis is an interesting player. She can step outside.
Well, surely they'll pick and pop for her.
Jerry, and puts up a nice, she got inside and isn't backing down, Jerry.
Great footwork from Rachel Jarry. Just drew the defense, stepped through it, flipped it up with a bit of spin.
4-point game right now for the USA. McCoughtry spins, gets inside. And the travel is called on McCoughtry.
Yeah, just spun around, and that was when she went 1-2 step. It's a good call, this. It's a good move from Jarry, I think.
Oh, it was tremendous footwork. Kayla Francis out to Levy now. Levy guarded by Bird, gets the pick, puts up a three, and McCoughtry with the rebound. Kind of lost control of it, gets it back now from Bird, and McCoughtry out of control, charges into Jerry. And she knows it.
Yeah. That's the part of the game the United States love, out on the break, wheeling and dealing, making the passes. But as soon as you get the defenders back, take the charge, hold your ground. So the Americans, USA team, going to have to do some thinking here to break down this Australian defense.
Remember, Penny Taylor on the bench with 3 fouls for Australia. And Jerry showing signs that she's going to be able to step up. Now Phillips, right down the lane, unmolested. Ogumike didn't step in to even challenge the shot, and Gino Auriemma is asking why.
Beautifully worked, wasn't it? Phillips started with it, finished it.
Jerry out on the perimeter. They find Ogumike, who drives in and scores off the glass.
Straight away, I think it's Hodges down the other end so quickly, making Ogumike just stretch out and get back on defense.
Another tough drive for Jerry, and draws the foul. And now both teams in the bonus the rest of the way. Charles has 2 fouls. USA having to dig deep right now against this Australia team.
One of the elements when you're in such a superior team winning games by such big margins, you don't pay special attention to your defense because you never chest it. And there's a situation there where Tina Charles should have stepped in, put a foot across it, taken the charge.
Some full court pressure there. USA pass it up quickly. Sue Bird, the first player ever to appear at 4 FIBA World Championships for women for the USA. Ogumike puts it up, misses, and Charles there for the rebound. And if the offensive rebounds are collected by the USA, that's a huge problem for Australia. And that was an air ball by Jerry.
Quick
Gets
shot
back
as
on
well.
defense.
That just allows America to get out in the break.
Tolo going to come back into the game. Charles puts it up and scores, and now the USA getting a little separation.
She's tough. Very, very tough. One of the mentions for all tournament this championships.
Dangerous time here for Australia midway through the second quarter. And the defense, the quick hands, another turnover. Now Bird quickly to McCoughtry. And McCoughtry fouled. So the USA showing signs they're going to pull away here at the end of the second quarter.
Yeah, this is a good spurt. This could lead to a 9-point lead here.
Snell checks back in. Tolo checks back in. And how long? I guess there's no way that Penny Taylor will go back into the game with 3 fouls.
No, but it's still 4 minutes left, and we've seen stranger things. I think Brendan Joyce may just have to sit on that one. I don't think there's any way he'll bring her back in.
I'm sure he might be thinking about it. If it gets over 10, he might think otherwise.
Angel McCourtry and Tina Charles will play on this for Fenerbahce next year. Both the two Americans for the Turkish team.
Levy over to Snell. Puts it up. It's on line, but a little long.
Yeah, she has a lot of pressure on those shots because that's really her only game, the jump shot.
McCoughtry over to Bird. Inside to Charles. Charles, oh, that is money, and Tina Charles gives the USA a 34-23 lead.
And it happens so quickly.
Francis for three, good. Well, that's one element to her game that makes her valuable.
She does not look like a shooter. The action doesn't look like a shooter, but my word, she gets a great success.
But the USA counterattack quickly, and Ogumike earns a trip to the free throw line.
Jeff, they're down the other end in 3-4 seconds, putting pressure on your defense straight away. That's why they're so difficult to play against. Any team that can slow them down, you have a better chance, obviously.
Ogumike makes the first. There's Belinda Snell, one of the heroes of the 2006 team. She had the big game against Brazil in the semifinals, this very game, or this stage of the competition. And a substitution. Augustus comes in for Maya Moore. Some full court pressure here being applied by the United States. And you can see Ogumike reaches in, knocks it out of bounds.
So quick and active defensively, Ogumike.
Tessa Levy gets it. Pulls it back over to Kayla Francis. Now up to Snell. Aaron Phillips. Kayla Francis. And that was kind of a rushed shot.
Great ball movement, though, wasn't it? One side of the floor to the other, broke the press. Even Kayla Francis puts the ball on the floor.
Augustus, under 3 minutes to go in the first half. Burton and Jerry will come back in at the next dead ball for Australia. Ogumike, turn around. Look at the hustle from Angel McCoughtry. Tina Charles. Surrounded, and her pass goes off the hands of McCoughtry and out of bounds, back over to the Opals.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. I think McCourtry just stepped in, and the pass was not quite on the money.
So Kayla Francis comes out. And turnover into the hands of Jerry, and she fumbles it away. Brendan Joyce going to get a timeout. The next opportunity. And, boy, Turner Charles goes up strong. She scored even though she was hit. And a timeout called by Joyce. So, America, well, it was tight early on. Australia is still within striking distance, but this game's starting to get away from them here in the second quarter. They trail 38-26.
Maybe 12 is not the end of the world, that's for sure.
USA getting 17 points off the bench, just 3 for Australia. Here's Burton. Pass inside and knocked away. Tessa Levy. Australia might get something in transition here.
A little risky, that pass down there from Tina Charles to Augustus.
Jerry goes in, and she's going to make a layup. Oh, she missed the layup. Rachel Jerry. She made the good move. She had a problem with that in her first game with Australia. And the pass goes out of bounds. Yeah, when they played Cuba, they won 90-57, but And Jerry was a little bit errant in her shooting. Taurasi comes back in from a cough tree.
It's a good substitution for Gino Auriemma. He just senses maybe last minute 16. Can he get anything out of his superstar? I think Taurasi was the superstar out of college in Connecticut. Late 99s, early 2000s, Jeff, was it? She's got to be a 13-year pro, I'm sure. Long, long time.
Joyce saying to the ref, watch the hold. Levy goes in. Oh, that's a great move for the young point guard. Tessa Levy, just 21 years of age.
2004, Taurasi was last year at Connecticut, so a 9-year pro.
So when you say you thought she was 13, are you saying that she's old? She plays old?
I wonder why you had that quizzical look on your face.
Bird from the left, because I remember her also then making her Olympic bow that year in Athens. Well, it takes it back to a 12-point game. Tessa Levy. Oh, Bird was there going for the steal. And she gets it to Tolo. Wide open Jerry on the baseline. The gambling USA defense.
Not a pretty little shot there from Rachel Jarry, but it's a set shot, got a feet set, and USA going to hold for this last shot here.
Well, they're going to try to. Levy trying to put a little bit of pressure on Bird. Over to Charles. Charles for the jumper. And, you cannot allow the offensive rebounds. And Ogumake just goes in and grabs it. Burton has to foul.
She was flying in there, wasn't she? And the other thing, the ability to just catch, come down, and go straight up with the ball. Australia may get a chance here.
You're talking about one of the best players in the world. Her sister Shanae was also drafted first in the WNBA this year. First time that's ever happened. Sisters,
is that
two
right?
#1 picks.
Yep.
And Tessa Levy, will she get it? She does, but couldn't get into position to put up a legitimate shot. So I'd say probably for the first 8 minutes of the game, Australia were giving as good as they got. And then USA got their noses in front, and now they've pulled ahead 42-30 at halftime in the semifinal of the FIBA World Championship for women. Penny Taylor going to check back into the game. She has 3 fouls. That's the FIBA World Championship for women. The USA leading it 42-30 against Australia. And we always say it, but it's true. Australia trailing by 12 points. They need a good start. That first 5 minutes, crucial here for the Opals. Meanwhile, the USA will want to look to deliver a knockout punch. Jerry from the corner. And that is out and back over to the USA.
Well, Gino Auriemma just in that pre-walkout speech to the USA team talked about offense and defense. One thing about defense, he said sit in the lane, make them shoot jump shots, make them prove it from the perimeter.
Taurasi on the baseline, good, and it's the biggest lead of the game for the USA.
Taurasi took 2 shots against France yesterday, and she's a little more active, a little more involved today.
Tolo sets the pick and rolls, pulls up, misses, scraps, hits it over to Taylor. Taylor gets in the lane, back outside to Hodges. Hodges puts up the shot, and it gets a lot of rim, but stays out.
Yep, had 2 good looks, Jarry, Hodges. And
Brittany Griner called for a foul.
A long way away from the ball.
basket.
Yeah, it was underneath the Australian hoop, and she was just working position down the far, and here she goes. Just that little push off there.
We saw a similar thing earlier in the game with who was it? Somebody for Australia.
Maya Moore took the charge.
Yeah, by Natalie Burton.
Tola was it Burton?
No, it's Burton, Natalie Burton. So they've been consistent. Taylor puts up a shot. So gives it back to Australia. They take advantage. It's back to a 12-point game. Griner has the 3 fouls.
Tough shot from Penny Taylor right over the outstretched arms of Brittany Griner. 7'4" wingspan for Griner.
And Griner uses her length and gets inside.
Just a beast of a move, wasn't it? A lot of power to move Tolo around in that low post.
Good hands from Maya Moore. Penny Taylor looking for space, gets it to Tolo, and Tolo puts it up. So alert play from both Taylor and Tolo.
Nice play from Taylor. Looped under the pick and roll, and Maya Moore was trailing it. That left Tolo wide open when the defense showed.
Taurasi gets it to Griner. She gets it over to Moore, and Moore hits the wide open jumper. Now Moore's hard to believe she's only got 9 points. It seems like she has a lot more.
Yeah, she made a lot of jump shots tonight, didn't she?
Hodges for 3. And boy, the tall Griner goes up and brings it down. Now Bird. And good quickness there from Aaron Phillips. Mitchell will come in for Jerry. Why are we going to see this move?
This is a real, I'm not sure. This is, Australia have gone smaller, which does surprise me somewhat, but Mitchell's out there to get after Bird, perhaps.
Taurasi for 3. And the box out by Tolo of Griner. Now Phillips. Well, I have to say Brendan Joyce is just trying to shake up his lineup here, find something that works.
Well, it does move Phillips to the 2 spot.
And she hits a 3. So we saw her hit the 3.
She had a big game yesterday.
Against Canada.
Yeah, exactly right. Well, Oriema said, back off, give them the jump shot, and that's exactly what he's done the first 5 minutes of this half.
Moore, meanwhile, just kind of turns to the right. I guess nothing but net.
She is just automatic in there, isn't she? Little flick of the wrist off that low post. Back anybody down there. And she's got the toughest defensive assignment, too. She's got in her opposite number, Penny Taylor.
7 on the shot clock. Mitchell over to Phillips. She kind of puts up a runner, and Tolo gets it back. Now Phillips from the corner puts it up, and good. It's a 3-pointer. Well, second opportunities.
Yeah, exactly right. Outstanding. Australia will never just lie down and die, and that's exactly what they've done. Toe-to-toe, they've matched America here.
Charles, it's a tough matchup for Hodges. She pushes off, and Charles almost makes the shot, but she's going to go to the line. 3 fouls on Hodges.
Yeah, we saw that the first half from Laura Hodges, the inability to just resist the reach there.
Well, if nobody's going to drop down and help, you have to have help against Charles, really, don't you?
Yeah, she's going to the middle, and she's going away from the basket somewhat. So Hodges didn't have to foul. Yeah.
Ogu McKay has checked into the game for Griner.
Had a good end to the half. Ogu McKay. That's probably why she's been given the reins to get out there now.
1 of 2 at the line, and the ball goes out of bounds off of Australia. Burton comes in for Hodges. So back to a lead of 11. Taurasi on the baseline. That's kind of a tough shot for Taurasi. And Maya Moore picks up the foul. So Maya Moore now has 2 fouls. And Mitchell brings it up for the Opals. Over to Burton. Taylor sets the screen, pops out. Takes Ogumake in the lane, gets the body. She looks at the referee and asks for the foul.
I think she took 2 hits there, one from Ogumake and one from Maya Moore.
Taurasi quickly drives, and a foul is called, and now Taylor is shouting, call it at both ends of the floor the same way. She's frustrated because she also has 3 fouls.
Phillips' foul there on Taurasi, and Taurasi just does this the whole game long. There's 1, and there's 2.
Difference maybe is that Taylor is really initiating the contact on both of those. Lindsay Whalen going to come in for the USA. Just 1 of 2. Ogumike reaching over. Boy, she's got some long arms. It's a 10-point deficit for the Opals. USA now 13 of 17 at the free throw line after that miss. Phillips right at the line and was hoping to get a 3-point play opportunity. Bird called for the foul.
She's just shaking her head and saying there's no foul. Let's have a look.
She got her quite clearly on the right arm.
Looked like she did, didn't she? I don't know what the complaints are.
She had her hand on her left side. They never commit a foul, basketball players. Doesn't matter who they play for. Aaron Phillips. Well, gets it back to a 9, so it's in single digits.
Well, 5 minutes we gave it. Could they hold on for that first 5 minutes? And Australia have answered that question.
Yes, they have indeed. And it's back now to an 8-point deficit.
A little bit of pressure. 1-2-2 down the floor. Shouldn't cause any problems for the United States.
Maya Moore into the lane. Oh, good hard pass, but Tolo blocks Tina Charles. It goes out of bounds.
Outstanding pass there from Maya Moore off the dribble. No look.
On the shot clock. An offensive foul called on Taurasi. She's already had 1 technical foul called on her, and she's mouthing off. Both she and Taylor. And Taurasi being told to pipe down by the Chinese referee.
The foul was on Ogumike.
Okay.
Just setting the screen. It wasn't on Taurasi.
Wow. And Taurasi takes the blow there.
Well, Taurasi went hard over that screen. I mean, she just went into that screen hard. She was determined to cut through there and close out on her man. But at the last minute, Burton just closed the gap and took her out. It was a hard hit.
So Kayla Francis will enter the game, possibly for Burton. And Brendan Joyce barking out orders here in front of us. Pass, asking for ball pressure is Joyce. And Moore gets in. Charles with the rebound. It's just impossible to keep Tina Charles off the glass, off the offensive boards.
Yeah, and Elizabeth Cambridge, a 6'9" center that got hurt pre-World Championship. This would be her domain. The Australians have stepped up the defensive intensity. That's getting after it a bit more, getting a bit more ball pressure out there.
And that was Penny Taylor's 4th foul.
Oh, well, okay.
And it was a good call as well. She was raking her on the arm.
We talked about it at the break. If that 4th foul comes in the 3rd period, then Brendan Joyce does have a few problems here.
The only good part is Charles missed the first free throw, so the lead goes to 9. And Jerry will come in for Taylor. Frustrating sequence for Penny Taylor to have to come out of the game. So Kayla Francis now will inbound the ball. And the Opals will have to do without their best player now for probably a substantial amount of time. As Penny Taylor goes to the bench with 4 fouls.
They need a hero right now, don't they?
Aaron Phillips from the corner, and Tolo, well, she's the hero of this team, or the heroine, goes up for a rebound. She's had a terrific game.
Yeah, I should rephrase that. Need a heroine right now. Yeah, you're right.
Aaron Phillips. Kayla Francis. And Whalen into transition mode, up to Ogumike. Bounce pass to Maya Moore, and that's how quickly the USA can strike.
That is beautiful basketball, isn't it? Ball hardly touches the ground. One dribble, and it's moved on straight away.
13 points for Moore.
And this is the problems of having Penny Taylor. Oh,
Mitchell, though, hits the open three.
I was about to say the problems of having Penny Taylor out of the game, but that's 2 threes for Mitchell off the bench.
Well, that was an inspired substitution, I think, by Brendan Joyce. Keeps the deficit at 8.
Well, it's too close for comfort.
Moore for 3. And battling for the rebound, and Mitchell comes away with it. Brings it up the floor. And ball goes out of bounds. I think it was it kicked by Phillips?
Well, it was going to Jarry, bounced past to Jarry. Jarry didn't really create any angle, and it went off Phillips's foot.
Australia just about hanging in right now. Whalen spins, gets into the lane, nowhere to go.
And no call either. A little bit of contact. Referee's letting them play.
Phillips now explodes to the basket and puts it up off the glass. It gets it back to a 6-point game. And Gino's seen enough. He says, I've got to get a TO.
Well, the crowd are a little interested. Even the neutrals are interested now, Jeff. It is an interesting game on here.
55-49, the USA on top. Mitchell doing a terrific job out there. Phillips chasing Simone Augustus. Now, Charles, her pass to Moore, kind of fades away. And Kayla Francis battles and gets it with Ogumake breathing down her neck. The Opals.
Well, it was Maya Moore's shot, but it was under a little bit of pressure there now, and the pressure is just mounting here for the USA.
Phillips over to Jerry, passes up the 3, takes a short jumper, and the ball stays out. Phillips knocks it out of bounds, and the basketball gods, Brendan Joyce says, why can't that ball just drop for Jerry? Look at this.
Or even for Erin Phillips coming out the other way. She had every right to think she might get that defensive rebound come out her way.
Taurasi back into the game for the USA.
That's a good move. Maya Moore missed a couple of shots in a row.
It could be Taurasi time. It often is in the third quarter. So with USA in the bonus, Taurasi gets a trip to the free throw line. And Brittany Griner is also going to come into the game.
Yeah, this is a good move from Mariema too, just to bring Griner back in to see what effect she has. 3 fouls, 2 points. Being nothing so far, but this might be her time to shine.
Lead goes back to 7. 8 points for Taurasi. 4 of 5 at the line now. She has the 2 rebounds. And the second one goes as well, and you can see she's up for it. Francis gets it to Phillips. The trap, she passes out of the trap to Francis. Francis hands it off to Mitchell. Jerry looks to pass it over to Mitchell up at the top of the key. Now Mitchell gets inside, puts up a little short jumper. The scrap, Mitchell gets it back and kind of rushed her shot. Now out on the wing is Whalen. You can see that she's got the idea of driving, and a foul is called on Kayla Francis.
And the USA are just finding their way to the free throw line with consistency here. Whalen just drives in. They're knowing full well if she's strong with the ball, holds herself, she'll get contact. The Australian defenders just struggling to hold their discipline, reaching for the ball.
Whalen misses the first. You know, Gino Auriemma was talking last night after their easy win over France how they were disappointed that Liz Cambridge wasn't here to match up against Brittany Griner because he was really looking forward to that. But I'm sure he's been impressed by what Australia's front court has had to offer tonight.
Well, some unknown names, isn't it? Unknown faces at the world stage for Australia. And my word, they are proving their worth.
Well, Tessa Levy comes in for Erin Phillips. Lets her take a seat probably for the end of the third quarter.
Be interested to see whether Penny Taylor comes out to start the fourth with those 4 fouls. I'd be inclined to gamble.
She's been a foul magnet tonight. Tolo. And good scrap for Jerry, but Augustus takes the ball now. Whalen, even though she's 1 on 3. Oh, that's a block. And Whalen just continues to put pressure on that Australian defense.
Yeah, just goes right at it. Now, there was maybe a hint there could have been an offensive foul. I think she lost control momentarily there, Whalen, but she was at full speed. Again, we got third trip to the line in, the space of a minute. It's just accumulating points for the USA here.
Well, ultimately, if you're the Australians, there's Lucas Mondelo, the Spain coach. He said not even an hour ago that he was going to go get something to eat. So I don't know what he's doing there. He said, I'm not even going to think about the winner of the next semifinal till midnight. So clearly, you can't trust these coaches.
Can you get a good paella here in Istanbul? I'm not sure.
I think you would say it's a paella.
Oh, excuse
Mitchell.
me, you're right.
And a three-pointer from Mitchell, and she has really provided a spark for Australia. Back to a 7-point game.
That is a huge shot. It's a third three. You talk about inspired substitution.
And entry pass to Simone Augustus. And she's a quick jumper, was able to get it up ahead of Tolo.
Look of disdain on her face as she ran back on defense for the defenders, Gardner.
Well, 13 seconds now remaining here in the quarter. Bounce pass to Tolo, and Jerry gets on the floor, puts it up quickly. A little bit too quickly, because Taurasi now will put up one of these shots that she practices, and it hits too high off the backboard and stays out. Australia have done a great job, though. They've kept it close. They've shaved some points, I think, off the deficit at halftime. They're trailing 61-52. (61-52), the USA on top of Australia at the FIBA World Championship for women, the semifinals. And a turnover as Taylor checks back into the game for Australia. So a good start to it for the Opals. And the USA obviously trying to get back to the final. They won this title 4 years ago when it was played in the Czech Republic. Phillips from behind the arc. Good! And Australia come out. And they're making this thing interesting.
That is how good Penny Taylor is. She ran Simone Augustus a bit ragged on that pick and roll and handoff. Created space on the penetration. Erin Phillips obliged.
Taurasi, and Taurasi hits the two.
Goodness me. That is how good this USA team are. They just score at will. Very potent. Taylor's on the floor, Jeff.
Taylor has taken a shot. And they've stopped play.
I think Taurasi caught her across the court.
And she's taken a shot to the midsection. Watch this.
Oh, it's Sue Bird.
Sue Bird just running into the screen. I don't think there's anything dirty about that. I think she's taken the wind out of her probably. So Gumake comes out. Tina Charles comes back in. I wouldn't say that's good news for Australia. Kayla Francis still in the game for Australia. She gives them additional height. Phillips puts up another three, and Sue Bird with the rebound.
Huge shot there for Phillips. If it goes down, it's a 6-point game again.
It's a 5-point game. And they dump to Charles.
I don't think that was a pass because Simone Augustus looked straight away to the referee as if it was a foul.
Phillips, bounce pass, Tolo. Tough shot for Tolo. She follows it, and the scrap for the ball. The ball ends up in the hands of Kayla Francis. Now, Mitchell. And Sue Bird reached around, knocked it out of bounds. Australia will inbound it. And Maya Moore comes back in for Simone Augustus, who sprints off the court. I like to see that when the player sprints off the court.
Yep, there's no doubt about it. Just shows you mean business, doesn't it? On and off.
Taylor hands it to Phillips. Thought about going in the lane. Now she pulls Charles away. Kayla Francis puts up a three. Good! Nope, that was a 2.
Well, the scouting report says she shoots the ball, and Brittany Griner needs to close out a bit quicker on that. Oh, there's a potent performer out there from the shooting performances.
Taurasi dumps it off, and I think Griner was thinking about trying to dunk it, but in the end, she just settled for the 2.
You were waiting for it.
I was. Francis, this time for 3. Off the front of the rim, off of Bird's hands, and Brendan Joyce is going to call timeout with 7:38 remaining. He's really thinking his way through this game, and he thinks right now it's important.
They might be better off switching that play. Tina Charles needs to play Francis, and Griner maybe Tolo.
Timeout on the floor, Australia. 67-57. Australia playing well. USA keeping the pressure on. And entry pass to Kayla Francis. Oh, she had a beautiful look and missed a short jumper. And then up ahead, Tina Charles just raced ahead. That's a 4-point swing there.
I don't know why she hesitated. Shot the ball and missed it, then just hesitated getting back and paid the price. Tina Charles beat her down the floor.
Phillips with Taurasi bearing down on her and tries to hand it off to Tolo, and Taurasi put the pressure on Tolo, and the ball goes out of bounds. Here you go. Have another look.
I think they got that right, the referees. Tolo touched it last, I think.
So the USA come out of the Australia timeout. They extend their lead by 2. Charles goes straight at Kayla Francis. Kayla Francis got her hand on the ball. There's Griner reaching over. And Mitchell ended up having to box out Griner so she couldn't chase the ball down.
Jeff, that's been a great battle. Mariana Tolo and Brittany Griner out there today. Just about the same size players.
Well, Griner has 4 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists. And Tolo has 10 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists. And turnover. I think Brendan Joyce is going to bring in one of his 3-point shooters when he has a chance, and Belinda Snell. He's going to try something else. And offensive foul, clearing out, once again called on Brittany Griner. 4 fouls on Griner. I think she just raised her hand and it caught. She's so tall that it caught Tolo in the neck.
And it's more that Tolo's trying to front Brittany Griner, then runs into the arm. The arm's outstretched. Good fundamental position for a post player. So in some ways you can feel why she was aggrieved.
You know, those numbers I gave of Griner were in 15 minutes. So Tolo's played 30 minutes. Hodges passed up the 3, brings inside, steps inside, and Taurasi with the rebound.
Jeff, they've had their good looks.
Moore now for the USA, hands it off to Charles, and the USA go back in front by 14.
Tina Charles took a big slap on the top of the head too. She went up to make that move. Yeah, Australia in a bit of trouble here, 14 down.
And Phillips tried to get it to Mitchell. Bird intercepted it. Taurasi inside to Charles. They whip it over to a wide open Moore for 3. Good!
I think
Maya Moore takes the lead now to 16 points. They've given everything to get it back. How close did they get? Was it 6?
Yeah.
At one point.
And a shot to make 5 as well. So it was they've had their opportunities.
That's right. And very quickly the USA have turned it up a notch and taken it back up to a 17-point lead. And that is the biggest lead of the game for the USA. Mitchell. Bounce pass. Gets away. Taurasi. Gonna post up Griner. Griner gets inside and lays it up. Boy, what a classy move from Brittany Griner.
Yeah, classy and classic as well. The old scoop hook shot in the reverse.
Taylor and Tolo battling. And
This could be the end
I
of
think
Brittany
that's
Griner.
it for Griner, yeah.
I don't think she knows what she's done wrong here. I think Mariana Tolo's just taken a good rebound where she's...
Here, have a look.
Oh, dear.
Well, you got to allow for some contact, surely.
Yeah.
Inside. I mean, Brittany Griner had an impact on the game without question. She played 18 minutes, 6 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists. And a tough play, and Hodges makes it, gets an N1. Griner also had a blocked shot. So, frustrating evening for her. Ogumake comes in. So it's back to a 17-point game now with 4:44 remaining. 16 points is the deficit for the Aussies.
Just showing a little bit of 1-2 zone trap here. Again, as before, USA so accomplished, get out of it very easily. It's just taking time off the clock, really.
Well, Gino said, let it go down to 10 and don't be afraid to still pass it in, pass it out, and pass it back in. Here they are. They'll look to make the entry pass here. Moore, though, in the corner. And she was trapped out there by Natalie Burton. Nobody moved to get the ball.
McCourtry was there. I don't know why she didn't throw it in the low post. Moore took that dribble to the baseline, expecting to just explode around and drive right the way through. But good defense from the Australians. They're just hanging. They will not give up. I wouldn't say they're hanging around. They just don't give up.
Burton. Mitchell for 3. That's off. And Burton went up, but Ogumake came down with the ball. Moore trying to post up Mitchell. She does. She gets the shot. No good. And Belinda Snell beats Taurasi to the ball. And her pass is intercepted by Bird, but Bird can't control it before she goes out of bounds.
Just down the other end, Maya Moore posting up Leilani Mitchell. So Erin Phillips comes in to replace her. There's Brendan Joyce there, but how quickly Maya Moore caught, turned, and got the ball out of her hands before the rest of the defense could come out and try and put out the fire.
Mitchell's had a good game tonight. She sits down. The pressure from the USA defense is still there. Maya Moore with the rebound. You just got to appreciate how good the USA are. You got to tip your hat to them.
That's a wonderful rebound. It's like it's his my house rebound.
Bounce pass. Ogumake misses. Burton with the rebound. Surrounded by McCoughtry. Or guarded by McCoughtry. McCoughtry fouls. 3:06 remaining. 16 points the deficit. So that was the foul. Now Taurasi goes over and tells everybody what she's been doing. Hodges sets the pick now. Burton for 3 off the back of the rim. Taylor gets it. Hands it over to Snelly off the back. That's what they call her down under. And Bird brings it across midcourt. Well, 2.5 minutes remaining. The clock is the enemy. The USA is the enemy for Australia. And McCoughtry goes up and hits a shot on the baseline, takes it back to 18.
Yeah, it's closeout time now for the USA, isn't it? They know they're 2 minutes and 20 seconds away from successive World Championship finals. And a chance to repeat.
Phillips from behind the arc. That's the three that goes.
Could have done with those shots maybe 4 or 5 minutes ago. Keep it interesting.
Oh, good hands, and Hodges quickly. And Snell had it knocked out of her hands by McCoftry, got it back. Phillips puts up a three, and that was short, but the ball goes to Phillips in the corner.
Jeff, got a question for you. When was the last time an American team, any age group, was beaten in competition? Because we got the under-17 girls and boys are champions, the under-19 girls and boys are champions, the men are champions. The women will play in the final tomorrow.
It's a great question. We watched the under-17 men.
Yep, unbeaten.
In Dubai.
3 championships, they've been unbeaten. I think it was the under-19s in Lithuania that lost to Valanciunas' under-19 Lithuanian team.
2011.
I think they lost to Russia in the quarterfinals.
Entry pass to Burton, and well, USA gave away a shot on the inbounds play, and it gets back to 13 points. Entry pass, or rather a pass to a cutting McCoftry.
Beautiful play. McCoftry back-to-back buckets. Played a quiet part tonight, but as ever, these guys come off the bench and they just produce and produce.
Phillips to Snell, puts up the reverse, and Snell gets her first basket of the game. You know that USA had a sizable advantage as Charles throws it out of bounds. They had a huge advantage from their bench, but now the Australian bench has 20 points and 27 for the USA. So it's been a pretty decent effort from the Opals reserves.
Well,
Aaron Phillips comes out.
The pressure's off Australia right now, so maybe that's why they're finding holes in this American defense. And the same for the Americans. The pressure's off. The game, they can see victory in sight.
Agumake comes out. Dupree comes in. No sign of Brandon Stewart tonight or Odyssey Sims. Tessa Levy over to Snell. Puts up a three. It's good. And gets it back to a 10-point game.
And a shake of the head for Belinda Snell. She knows she could have done with that three-pointer early in the game. Wide open. This is what she does best.
There she is. So Snell's got 5 points. Gabe Richards comes in. Tessa Levy guarding Lindsay Whalen. Australia not going to give up until the final buzzer. Kayla Francis, we are going to see Brandon Stewart. She's come in. She's trying to post up Kayla Francis. 5 on the shot clock. Dupree, soft in the lane. Now Tessa Levy. Pulls up for the short jumper. And Whalen brings it across midcourt. Less than 20 seconds to go here. It's been a great, entertaining affair here. Australia giving their all, but the USA are going to win again, and Stewart gets her shot blocked by Kayla Francis. And I believe that's going to be it. USA winning it 82-70. Professional performance really from the USA, a battling effort from the Opals. Both teams with a lot to be proud of tonight. Great game of international basketball.